This is my Levile Accent challenge. Now the objective here is to put 5 accents on the list into 1 minute. So I'm starting with an American accent because I found that the most helpful accent to master when I was starting out as a voice artist. But I do love to drift across to Scotland because it's one of my favourite accents. And I use it for protection myself actually when I'm on the London Underground and elsewhere. Because the English are scared of the Scots. Because you're never sure with a Scot whether they're going to be absolutely charming and say, "Oh, you're right, pal, you okay?" Or if they're going to be an absolute psychopath and go, "Oh, you're right, pal, you okay? You don't know what's going to happen next now, do you? You okay?" But then if you drift across to Ireland, then it's a little bit more relaxed and lyrical, unless you're talking about the phrase, "I know where you live." Because with a Southern Irish accent like this, it sounds wonderful. But if it's a Northern Irish accent going, "I know where you live," it's a little bit more scary, isn't it? But if you're scared, mate, then just drift over to Australia because, you know, you Brits like it over here. Because, in fact, the Australian accent is just an East End of London accent, looking at the sun, you know, squinting. It's a bit more like that. So just maintain your sunny disposition. But in Russia, the sun disposes of you. Now, what I'm trying to do here is get 5 accents into 1 minute. So I'm starting with New York because New Yorkers, they know what it's like to rush, all right? It's an Italian thing. They're like, all right, I'm doing it, okay? Just quit breaking my balls. Why don't you sit back and listen to some Beatles music or something? Now, the Beatles are, of course, from Liverpool, and they tried to make a Lord of the Rings version before Peter Jackson. That would have been a very different film, wouldn't it? All right, Frodo, where you going? Oh, I'm just off to Mordor with a beardy fella Gandalf. Of course, if I was going to Mordor, I would like to take a South African with me because South Africans just sound tough, don't they? They even run their own country into one word, South Africa. And they always sound like they've just given a right hook to a lion in the morning. They wouldn't be afraid of no orcs. Of course, the orcs are all like Cockneys, aren't they? I don't quite understand why that is. They're always like, "All right, little hobbits. Yeah, I'll get you to Mordor. I'm from Mordor via Deptford." Yeah. Now, of course, I would prefer to take a French person with me because the French, they could speak the language of love. But they have a word in France they won't admit to, and that word is "be." You say to a French person, "You have this word in France," and it is "be." And they say, "No, this is ridiculous. We don't have this word, be."